Bloody Mary, a reign defined by faith and fire. Mary I of England, famously known as Bloody Mary, ruled for a short but turbulent 5 years, 1553 to 1558. She assumed the throne after the death of her half-brother, Edward VI, and amid the brief, thwarted reign of Lady Jane Grey. From the very start, Mary's ascension promised upheaval. She was determined to restore Catholicism to a kingdom that had embraced Protestant reforms under her father, Henry VIII, and further under Edward. Yet while her religious fervor might have reflected genuine devotion, her methods, marked by public executions of Protestants, made her notorious. In the eyes of many English subjects, Mary's reign became synonymous with persecution and fire. At the outset, Mary inherited a religiously divided realm. Her father's break from Rome had destroyed centuries-old ties to the Pope, founding the Church of England. Although Henry VIII retained certain Catholic beliefs, doctrinal shifts under Edward VI propelled England further down the Protestant path. Mary, ardently Catholic from childhood, reversed these policies as soon as she claimed the crown. She reinstated Latin Mass, restored papal authority, and worked to undo Edward's reforms. Her most severe measure was reviving the old heresy laws, which allowed for the burning of those who refused to recant Protestant doctrines. While initial hopes lingered that Mary might proceed cautiously, she soon confronted stubborn Protestant leaders who rejected Catholic rites. High-profile figures such as Archbishop Thomas Cranmer, central to Henry's annulment and Edward's reforms, found themselves imprisoned. After a series of ecclesiastical trials, the pious began to claim lives. John Rogers, a clergyman involved in translating the Bible into English, became the first public example, burned at Smithfield in 1555. Over the next few years, nearly 300 men and women met the same fate, as Mary believed such visible punishments would stamp out heresy and guide England back to the true church. Public opinion, however, soured in the face of these gruesome spectacles. While many still clung to traditional Catholic customs, witnessing one's neighbors and respected scholars die in agony bred resentment toward the crown. The moniker Bloody Mary took hold during and after her reign, forever linking her name to these brutal purges. Beyond the fires, Mary's personal life and marriage to Philip II of Spain fueled further discontent. Nervousness spread that England would become subordinate to Spanish interests, and her subjects grumbled about a marriage that produced no heir. Mary's apparent pregnancies ended in phantom hopes. Despite her desire to secure Catholic succession, she died childless, leaving the crown to her half-sister Elizabeth, who steered the country decisively toward Protestantism. Yet Mary's reign wasn't purely defined by the executions. She attempted monetary reforms, sought alliances to stabilize the fragile kingdom, and was personally devout. Her strong religious convictions, nurtured from youth by her mother Catherine of Aragon, spurred her conviction that Catholicism was essential for both England's salvation and its proper alignment with European monarchies. Nonetheless, her sincere faith translated into policies that many deemed tyrannical. Where her father had spilled blood for personal and dynastic reasons, Mary's perceived moral crusade made her an object of both dread and pity. She was trapped by the political complexities of the time, a female ruler seeking legitimacy, carrying a faith out of step with much of her nobility, and allied with a foreign Catholic king. In the end, Mary's policies proved temporary. With her death in 1558, Elizabeth I returned England to Protestant rule, disassembling Mary's Catholic restorations with more lasting effect. Over the centuries, Protestant England crafted a stark, negative memory of Mary, the queen who used flames to enforce orthodoxy. Historians later painted a more nuanced portrait, recognizing her precarious predicament and the sincerity of her conscience. Yet few doubt her persecution tactics significantly shaped English Protestant identity for generations. Today, the phrase Bloody Mary remains a potent reminder of how religious conviction can turn into deadly repression when merged with political power. Mary I's legacy still stirs debate over how one woman's desire to save souls instead set the nation afire, literally and figuratively. Her short, stormy reign stands as a cautionary tale of the perils faced by a monarch who chooses brutal enforcement of faith as a path to unity, an approach that ultimately cemented the kingdom's rejection of her cause. Subscribe to Legends of the Battlefield for more stories of monarchs, their ambitions, and the consequences that shaped history.